King's Karate presents inside crescent kick. Inside crescent kick is required for orange belt, and although that's a very low, it's a lower rank, this kick is difficult to master. It's going to require a lot of discipline and a lot of follow through in practicing. When you first start to do this kick, man, it is going to feel really weird. And the next day you're going to be really sore in places you didn't know you could be sore, because the hip flexors and the parts of your muscle that you're using for this kick are really strange. Anyway, let's get to the kick. Here's what an inside crescent kick looks like from a fighting stance. That's setting down behind and then setting down in front and setting down in front. Okay, let's break it down. From your fighting stance, to prepare, you're going to bring your leg up at an angle, kind of 45 degrees off or so from where your target is. From here, what you're going to do is basically bring your leg straight over, only you're going to whip out your foot while you do it. So when you do that, it whips out and you're coming back. And you want to be able to get this so that it can basically come over someone's guard and take their head off. Well, not take their head off, but that's kind of where your momentum's going. Now, notice how I really emphasized how your leg is moving. It's really tempting to just want to lead with your knee and kind of whip your foot there, but did you see how my knee is turning back and forth? Do not do that. If you do, what it's doing is it's using certain tendons and muscles in your leg that if you really connect with this kick and you connect with someone really hard, all that shock from the kick is going to get transferred back into your knee, and if you've done that, it can really injure a lot of the things in your knee, and it's really going to hurt. You don't want to do that, and it's not very powerful. So make sure that all the momentum from this kick comes from keeping your knee just like this, and almost like you're leading with the inside of your knee, just bringing that across with your hips. So you're going to use your hips to bring this straight sideways. See how my leg is moving back and forth like this? That's how you want your kick to be. You don't want to whip your leg out and just use your foot like that. You want your knee to start here and stay facing that direction. As you bring it across, it's going to move as a unit, your whole leg from the hip. So again, notice that when I do this kick, is that the orientation of my leg has gone from here straight over. It's not like I brought it up and just whipped my foot around. My leg is staying in line the whole time. It doesn't turn side to side. It's just moving lateral. So, here's what you're kicking. You're kicking someone's temple, or the side of their jaw, or possibly their chin, maybe their neck, or even a floating rib. Depending on where you're kicking, you're going to kick with different parts of your foot. You might use that bone right there at the base of your big toe, or you may use most of your instep to connect with somebody's neck. If it was connecting with someone's neck, you might orient your foot more like this, so it's pointed, and have that instep connect with someone's neck. Or if you were aiming at their temple or their jaw or maybe a floating rib, you may flex your foot more and connect with a lower part of your instep or possibly some other part of your foot. So I wouldn't specify whether or not your foot is supposed to be pointed or flexed with this one, because it really depends on what you're kicking. So there's a little leeway there. The other thing you want to remember is with balance to keep your guard up. So when you're here, you do the kick and set it down. Another really cool thing about this kick is you can use this to clear someone's guard. If your opponent is like this coming at you, and they've got their guard in front of them like a fighting stance, you can kick their guard away and follow it immediately with a side kick. Here's what that looks like. And come in that way. So just taking their guard away is going to kind of distract them, and then you can throw your foot in there if you really need to incapacitate an opponent really quickly. Here's what it looks like from the side, and then we'll be done. From fighting stance, and set it down. Again, make sure you keep your guard up. Be able to set it down behind you or in front of you. So you have to be really controlled to be able to do that. Again, don't expect to get this right away. Really difficult kick to master. But once you get it, you'll be able to use your leg in a lot of different ways and kick your opponent lots of different ways too, in case you're pinned or they're coming at you at a weird angle, because that way you don't just have round front and side kick. You've got a few different ways that you can throw your leg around in order to defend yourself against an opponent.